The ACT is set to become the first Australian jurisdiction to decriminalise small amounts of commonly used illicit drugs, such as ice, heroin, cocaine, ecstasy, LSD, amphetamines and speed. Laws passed in the territory's parliament mean that the people found with small amounts of 9 different types of illicit drugs will not be criminally prosecuted. People found with amounts considered to be personal possession, smaller than trafficable quantities, would now only be subject to either fines, warnings or referred to a drug diversion program rather than lengthy criminal charges. The new legislation covers most common illicit substances, including LSD, MDMA and psilocybin or magic mushrooms. Based on the new legislation, the most significant distinction is that if you are apprehended with cocaine or methamphetamine in Sydney, you will face criminal charges and be required to appear in court. However, starting from the 28th of October, in the Australian Capital Territory, you will receive a $100 fine for such an offence, and settling it will conclude the matter. In 2019, the ACT became the first state in Australia to legalise the personal use of cannabis, according to which the residents in the territory are able to legally possess up to 50 grams of marijuana and cultivate up to 2 plants per person, or 4 per household. It remains the only one to do so across Australia. This new law is called Drugs of Dependence, Personal Use, Amendment Act 2022 and is set to kick-start on the 28th of October 2023, which was passed by the ACT Legislative Assembly on October 20, 2022. A copy of this new legislation is attached in the description of this video and is free for anyone to download. According to reports, this shift in the law is anticipated to attract significant number of residents from Sydney, seeking drug-centric gatherings and events. Reports also anticipate that with the relaxation of drug regulations from October 28, there will be bikies and criminal-minded people making their way to Canberra, aiming to capitalise on the situation. This would also mean renewed conflicts on the streets of Sydney as new demand in the ACT will increase. Australian Capital Territory will be a new market for drugs and the suppliers will be mainly from Sydney who will end up fighting for control. This could mean further conflict between bikie clubs, increased drug use, a high road toll and long-term mental health issues. There is no denying that the bikie clubs know that there is money to be made and demands will be rising. As the ACT emerges as a new drug market, suppliers who are predominantly based in Sydney might find themselves competing fiercely for control over this newfound territory. This struggle for dominance could manifest in various ways, including heightened tensions between bikie clubs and criminal networks. The competition for control over the drug trade and related activities may lead to clashes, not only between rival bikie clubs but also with law enforcement agencies tasked with maintaining order and public safety. This situation could further contribute to an upsurge in drug use, as the presence of readily available substances might tempt individuals who were previously less inclined to experiment. The result could be a spike in addiction rates, overdose cases, and related health complications, amplifying the strain on healthcare systems and resources. The number of bikies in Canberra peaked at about 70 in 2018, when the Rebels, the Comancheros, Nomads, Finks and Satadara all had chapters established in the territory. But membership has declined across all clubs and some clubs are now reduced to single-member clubs. At the moment Canberra is dominated by the Comancheros who claim it to be their territory. The Como's stronghold over Canberra signifies their successful penetration into the local landscape, affording them the ability to shape the direction of events and exert their influence over various aspects of the city's social and criminal dynamics. Their territorial claim reflects a level of organization, coordination, and possibly even intimidation that has enabled them to establish their foothold in the region. Until 2007, Australia's largest outlaw motorcycle club, the Rebels MC, had made sure that Canberra was a one-club city. Rebels held significant influence and control over the criminal activities and drug business of the ACT. Their control over the city's bikie club scene was marked by their territorial claims, activities, and collaboration with other criminal networks. This status of being the sole dominant club within the city was likely a result of their strategic moves, leadership, and overall organizational prowess. They effectively controlled and maintained supremacy within Canberra. This control was a testament to the rebels' organizational strength, influence, and capability to deter or surpass any competition from other rival motorcycle clubs. However, in 2014 the rebels' dominance began to crumble, when Australian law enforcement was able to weaken the club's national leadership, through the cancellation of the permanent resident visa of their longtime national president, Alex Vella. But this is changing now, as club is already muscling its way back into the territory and are on a recruitment drive. Reports indicate that they have streamlined their previously extensive nomination process into a succinct approval form. In the past, Canberra had been referred to as a haven for bikies due to the introduction of stringent anti-consorting laws in New South Wales back in 2013, prompted by a series of violent incidents involving motorcycle clubs. In addition to local chapters, bikie groups from outside the area were transporting their motorcycles by truck to the ACT, enabling them to ride collectively and discuss club-related matters. Concerns are mounting over the potential outbreak of a territorial dispute among bikie clubs in Canberra. Moreover, the relaxation of drug laws is expected to lead to an increase in drug use, akin to the rise observed in cannabis consumption after its legalization for personal use in 2020. The ACT witnessed a substantial 20% surge in cannabis usage, making it reasonable to expect a parallel elevation in the consumption of other drugs within Canberra. Certain authorities have voiced reservations, citing a perceived conflict between the new amendment and the Commonwealth Criminal Code. This has created unresolved challenges that require addressing. Both the federal and New South Wales police commissioners have expressed apprehension, stating that the proposed change could potentially endanger law enforcement personnel and society as a whole. They believe that relaxing ACT laws would not only escalate drug use but also fail to resolve existing issues, possibly leading to the creation of new problems.